It's 5:30. We'll call the meeting to order. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. There are some additions to the agenda. Let's see, we have these came at the last minute, so you might help me sort through them. Kelly, you sent
On the proclamation, can we put that as the last item before reports, please?
okay. So were you going to demonstrate the website or anything?
Oh, I can.
That was
if you
just
want
for
me-
us.
If you would like me to, I can, but I was just mainly wanting you to be aware of it. So however you would
If we
like.
have time, do you want to, commissioners?
Quick.
Quick.
It's the longest agenda I've ever seen.
Let's consider that under reports, time pending, and if not, put it on for the
Right,
next
you guys
agenda.
just let me know.
Yeah, that's good. So we just had those two, that one item.
We've got a couple of executive sessions.
Well, yeah, but we're putting it before the reports because it's an
Okay.
action item, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Now, on the consent agenda, I'd like to move G into items for commission action as well as item M. Are there any other modifications, commissioners? Okay.
Thanks.
If not, then I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is, and I use the term old business since we are, yeah, old business.
I actually have one item for you, gentlemen. A couple meetings ago, you had each requested that I ordered the Kansas Local Government Law from the League of Kansas Municipalities, and that book is $200 per issue, which is fine. I'm happy to order it. However, after talking to Jeff, it hasn't been updated since 2014, and we thought with all of the legislative changes that if you do still want that book at that price, we might wait for the updated version instead of buying one that will very soon be replaced.
Yeah, I think it'd be wise to wait to see for a new revision date before we proceed.
Okay, I do have a copy in my office. If anyone needs to borrow it, you're more than welcome
Okay.
to.
Okay, thank you. You'll monitor and let us know when that's available. I know there's some other things, projects that have been ongoing that are still pending completion, but that's just kind of typical for operation of a business. So is there anything particular that we need to act that can't continue on with after the reorganization? Okay. At this time, we'll enter new business, reorganization of the commission, election of the mayor. I know that at this time we reorganize, and I would like to recommend that Commissioner Hogsett serve as mayor.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Appreciate that.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Gary.
sir.
Looking forward to
Appreciate that.
sitting under your leadership. It's up to you
I'm too
tonight,
lazy
then
to
we'll
move.
reorganize.
I appreciate that. I would like to thank you, Leonard. It's been a very difficult year. Somebody told me last night it's got to be one of the toughest years in the history of independence with the hospital. We appreciate your leadership very much.
Well, thank you. It has been an interesting year. You know, I think, as in years past, we've accomplished, we've seen a lot accomplished. We can't pick and choose what comes our way, but I think overall we were able to handle the situations, and you know, we're looking forward to new things, and yeah, I think it's going to be still some rough roads, but that's life. We can't always have ice cream. Sometimes we got to eat our peas too.
Agreed.
But I don't. So
We're supposed
at this time, I'll relinquish the chair to you, Gary.
Great, thank you. Okay, so the next item is the election of the vice mayor. Any nominations for that one?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Meyer.
I'll second that. All in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
I'm not comfortable with
Any
that one.
opposed? All right, thank you for volunteering, Fred.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
The next item is designation of the official city newspaper.
Make a motion, we appoint the Independence Daily Reporter as the official city newspaper.
I second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next item is designation of the official city depository.
That's
Community
Community National Bank. I'd make a motion, we designate the official city depository as Community National Bank.
I'll second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Next item is consider changing the day of the week and time for commission meetings.
And that's my request because I won't be here the 10th.
Okay, just for the
So-
one day?
For the one day, yeah.
Okay.
It
What-
would, actually, I won't be here that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, so we could move it to Tuesday unless it doesn't work.
Can we look at
You could
a
move to-
calendar real quick?
Tuesday is the 9th.
It's the 8th.
8th, I mean.
What about, how about moving it to the next week, the 17th? Is that a problem, or is that too big of a gap?
5:30. No,
If your week is
Actually-
pretty busy, instead of trying to work it in,
yeah,
how's your week?
Either one's fine with
Topeka.
me.
I may be a little bit late because I'll be in Topeka that day, but I think I'll be, I got to finish a training. I'm fine with 17.
How about the rest of the staff?
Is that,
Works for
No,
everybody?
no difference. We've been doing 3 a month, so.
Right.
It's St. Patrick's Day, so you have to work for you.
on the 17th?
So will we be known as like Okaflish, O'Meyer, and Hogsett?
There you go. That's gonna make the minutes.
Okay,
So we'll do the 17th then and the 25th next month,
Yeah.
or 24th,
instead of the 10th.
yeah.
All right, do we need a motion for that? Or just,
Yes.
okay. I'll move that we change the March 10th meeting to March 17th.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you for being flexible.
Okay. Next is the adoption of the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve items C, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, L, and N?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agendas, items C, D, E, F, H, I, J, K, L, N.
I'll second that. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Move on to item G then. Consider change order number 4 with Mission Construction in the amount of $32,538.02. Sean, how are you this evening?
Excuse me.
Sure, go ahead.
I had requested item G and M to be in.
Right?
Did you want to do those now, or?
That's why I'm doing G now.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I was looking at them.
Okay? Sean?
Good, thank you.
Good, all right.
Thank you.
Change
This-
order number 4, item G.
This change order, and I don't have an itemization with me tonight, but this change order is for finaling out the West Main project. It's for liquidated damages for delays by the contractor. That amount is acceptable to the contractor. Again, I don't have an itemization with me, but and that is also acceptable to KDOT. That has KDOT working days. So it's kind of a complex procedure defined by KDOT whether a day is in delay or not. And as you know, it's a pretty wet construction period. So all in all, there weren't a great deal of days that he could be penalized for, but there were a fairly significant amount. As you see, it's $32,000.
Right, so we get 32,000 back. Leonard, you had some questions on that one?
Yeah, that was the number of days, or was there other work that was rejected, or was this just
I think
dealing with?
it's mainly the days. There's a small amount, like some of the other change orders in your packet that were approved in the consent agenda. There was a small amount of reconciliation of quantities that ended in a reduction also, but the bulk of it was penalty for the contractor. And again, I just don't have that itemization with me.
Okay, so quantity variation
Correct.
and
And liquidated damages.
liquidated damages. Okay.
You okay with going in and approving it this evening?
Yeah, I just wasn't for sure of what everything
where it came from.
was.
Sure.
We
I
will
think
get
we
that
would
one,
need.
Sean.
if
We'll get
we-
the itemization.
Yeah, I can provide that later. I just do not have it with me this evening.
Yeah, I think if we could have the itemization later, I think we could go ahead.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'll move then that we approve change order 4 in the amount of $32,538.02 credit with Mission Construction for the West Main reconstruction project.
Second?
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Next is item M. Consider renewing the concession stand lease with the Lions Club. Is there anybody here to discuss that with us?
On item M, I'm a member, and Charlotte is a executive in the leadership of Lions, and so is my brother, and I feel that I should recuse myself for a conflict of
Okay.
interest on voting with that
Okay.
contract.
So you're just separating it out because you're not going to vote on that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel
All right.
that since
Appreciate
it's,
that.
it's
This
a
is the
significant
yeah.
fundraiser.
Yeah, that's what we do every year.
that I should.
This is the same thing as we've approved every year.
All right. I'm going to move that we renew the concession stand lease with the Lions Club.
Second?
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you,
I
Leonard.
abstain.
Okay. Move on to item O. Back to Sean again, I believe. Consider recommendation from Trans Systems on awarding Basin 5 rehab work. This is the one that was just handed to us.
Yeah, and I have another sheet, I believe, or did they get that?
No, they didn't give me that sheet.
Could you make the print any finer on this?
I didn't do it. Sean did.
We need microscopes. Oh, that's a little better.
I blew it up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Basin 5 I&I abatement project or sanitary sewer rehab. It's divided into two parts here, the base bid and the alternate bid. Backing up a little bit, we applied for and received a community development block grant for that, and we're kind of up against some deadlines where we've got to get this awarded tonight. And there's some other things to discuss, though, that you may want to take later commission action on. The first thing, the lowest bid was from TriStar Utilities here in town for $914,593.95. And that base bid is basically what your CDBG will be used for. when we originally applied for the CDBG, it was almost 2 years ago, and this is over our budget amount by about $125,000. So on the last page, I kind of gave a summary that I just handed you. I gave a summary of where we stand on the KDHE loan. That first part in black is a summary of the Southeast Lift Station. We originally started with $4 million. After that project, about a third down the page, you can see we had 1.35 million left. Then in red, we've done 2 projects: the Birdie Lift Station and the Poplar project. After those projects, we have 871,000 left. So then we hit our Basin 5 project. There's enough money in there to do this project. It's just when we do the Lakeview project later, that's when we're going to have the shortage. There's enough money in here to do the base bid project. But when we hit the Lakeview project, that's where we're going to have the shortage. So I think, like I mentioned at a previous commission meeting, we can amend that loan at any time. KDHE will allow you to do that. And something that the commission should consider is, if you look at the alternates, which all this work was defined by a video inspection of Basin 5, there's a potential to do $1.7 million in work here to get Basin 5 taken care of. If you chose to amend this by $1 million and chose to use the user rates to generate debt service, it'd result in a increase of about $1.50 per month per user for another $1 million. And these are approximations, but it's things to think about. You don't need to take action on that tonight, but we do need to award that base bid tonight. And if you want a further or a more detailed analysis of amending that loan for a certain amount, I'd certainly be glad to do a more detailed analysis of how to do that.
And it's going to depend on the Lakeview bids of what the amount is that we're
Correct.
short.
And it's
So-
also not uncommon to have more than one amendment. Like if you wanted to amend it just to do this project, you can do that. If we want to amend it again later to do the Lakeview project, you can do that. It's not a problem with
But then we
KDHE.
can also look at the sewer fund if there's a.
Correct. There may be, you
And-
may have reserves that you could use. I don't know that.
And
But
it's,
the only thing we need to do tonight is the base.
Right.
Correct.
Put on them pressure to approve.
Correct.
And what's the difference between the base bid and the alternate?
Yeah.
Well, we knew there was more work than we had money for.
Okay,
So
that's
we
just
we
the rest of
broke
the
it.
project.
We were hoping that we broke it out where we'd hit right on budget. We did not.
Yeah.
We're over budget
Pretty
for the
close.
block grant project by 125,000.
Okay.
Is there an estimate on the Lakeview project, Sean?
Yes, we're still at 400,000 for construction
That was-
on the
that's-
the bottom of the last page.
Yeah. So it's 490,000?
Well, with the engineering that you already have under contract is another 90,000. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The construction's
So it's
400,000.
400,000.
So this is a 50/50 grant, right?
Well, it's a 50/50 grant, but
base.
we're at the max of 500,000.
Just on the base.
Yeah. Okay. Gentlemen, you care with moving forward with this?
Yeah, we can do the base bid. Can you explain to us what the advantages of doing alternate bid? Because
Yeah.
if we don't do it now, the prices are just going to continue to go up. and-
Well, that basin, Terry knew, is in terrible shape. I mean, it's your worst basin in town. I mean, there's a lot of collapsed pipes. There's some missing pipe. There's a lot of pipe about ready to collapse. So it's not going to get better. We've discussed before at previous commission meetings, that's where you get this tremendous load of flow during rainfall. It's called infiltration and inflow. And, in reality, managing the utility, you can make things bigger to a point to accommodate that flow, but then at a point, you also need to be taking care of your system because it just gets astronomical. So, to me, now is the opportune time for the city to go in and take care of their their worst basin. You're not going to get another block grant if you waited and applied for this same basin. They wouldn't give you another grant for this basin. They might in another basin, or probably will in another basin, but
But not this one.
correct. So I think you've maximized your grants you're going to get in this basin. I mean, if it was me making the decision, of course, there's more to it than just me, I would amend the loan to do that full amount and get Basin 5 taken care of.
Are you saying amend the grant so that we could add the base bid to this project? Amend the
I would,
the loan to do an additional $829,000 worth
Yeah.
of work in that basin?
Correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
Do the whole 1.7 million.
Yeah. Because this is one of those deals that we've talked about in our strategic plan. I mean, we just may not be able to do as much later on, but, I mean, this is an opportunity.
But as we do this and take care of the I&I, we're cutting the load on our sewage treatment plant, which is going to give us a return of savings. Plus, also, I think if we exceed a certain amount of discharge, EPA can come in and assess a fine to us. So by dealing with it, we're going in the right direction of saving money.
So you are in favor of doing alternate two, or just the base bid?
Yeah, I'd like to see no, I think
See, I'd
well,
like
we
to
need
see
to
how
do
we
the
can make
base
it work.
bid tonight, but we need to look at
Yeah, I agree.
funding. When you were talking about increasing the loan, I thought you meant only for Lakeview, but
The option exists to increase that for the full amount. I believe I recall the city has some reserves in the sewer fund, but I don't know those amounts and didn't ask City Clerk or Mickey to look at that.
We need to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
We just need to
Commissioner-
basically
We'll come
look
back
at
with a
it.
plan.
Commissioner Meyer's right that the costs are lowest right now, that if we take it and rebid, we're going to pay more for it. And if we can get a plan to award the whole contract, it would be beneficial for the city.
Yeah, and it's a local contractor. It's not a problem starting on the base bid, giving him that and us working through the remainder of it. And we could do a change order to add the alternates in a few weeks or months even, if you choose to do that.
He's guaranteeing the alternate prices by contract, just for 30 days?
60
days.
Yeah, by contract, and I imagine we can get that extended if needed.
Okay, so award the base bid tonight and get it back on the agenda to talk about the
Yeah,
rest of it?
I'd like for staff to look at, is it
Yeah, is it feasible?
extend the loan?
Yeah,
So what's the best
right,
for our taxpayers?
yeah.
Because we
So-
need,
It's
Yeah.
really
and
needs
I
to be
like the
done.
opportunity that we have before us here.
Mhm.
And this is one of those ones where we can address it right now, and then somebody a long time down the road can worry about it.
Right.
Won't be us.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we award the base bid of $914,593.95 to TriStar Utilities, and also authorize the staff to come back to the commission looking at funding options so that the alternate bid could be considered to be awarded within the time frame of 60 days.
Second? Did you
Jen?
get that?
We're going to have you read that one back, make sure you got it right.
I have a motion and a second to award the base bid of $914,593.95 to TriStar Utilities, and to authorize staff to look at funding options to consider the alternate bid and bring it back within 60 days.
Does that
Sounds
sound
pretty good. Yeah.
All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Jen. Okay, next is item P, the ordinance establishing minimum maintenance standards for commercial property in the central business district. We've talked about this one 6 or 8 times. Are you gentlemen prepared to make a decision on this tonight, or should we schedule a work session, or? We keep bringing it up and not feeling comfortable passing it because we haven't really sat down and talked about each item. What were you going to say?
You know, I thought when we talked that we would include all commercial buildings, but, you know, the advantage of a work session is being able to invite the commercial building owners in to get their dialogue or input, at least the opportunity to express to us their concerns.
Yeah, we have done that once. We had one
Yeah.
session like that, but we just basically let everybody have input, and we didn't really sit down and try to hash out what we wanted to see in it, which I think that would probably make good sense. Like you said, give everybody an opportunity to have their say again, and do it at a work session. 'Cause I mean, I know Jim has done a lot of work on this, as has Jeff and several others, but I don't know if I'm comfortable passing it in its current form.
No, I just agree, we need to, you know, one of the things that we're known for is our downtown, and we need to
Yeah.
do something.
Right.
Whatever we need to do, be it ordinance, in this ordinance, to make sure that we protect that in that area downtown, especially those people, business owners that, and, you know, they've done some good things. Ned, I think Ned was here, he fixed up his building really nice down there, and
Yeah.
that really made a big difference, and so I'm all in favor of proceeding with it.
Okay. Could we?
Always the devil's in the details, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
I see, we've got commercial buildings from the north, the west, and the east, and some to the south coming in to town that are just as, that's your first impact too. So, you know, what we're covering here is that appearance that you mentioned, Fred, and that's our first impact on people coming into town if they bypass the downtown. I've read the proposed ordinance, and, you know, see, that's where the main emphasis is, to maintain not only the appearance but also the soundness and the safety of adjacent buildings and the public. So
So I don't see this being a lot different than our condemnation, what we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Than what we've gone and tried to accomplish with the condemnation process. You know, it makes sense to me to do it,
Yeah. And
candidly.
I think it's even more important, actually, because, like, I know of a building downtown that has hundreds of cans of paint and thousands of pounds of paper, and if it goes up, it's going to take the block, you know, so I think you have a responsibility to adjoining buildings
I agree,
to make them safe.
And that's-
And people, when they come to town, they form an impression of the town based on what they see downtown. They want to, you know, if things are boarded up, it makes the impression that our downtown is on the decline. So I would like to schedule a session to talk about this.
I'm good with that. Jimmy, you guys?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Preston?
You want to schedule it now? Or you want to try to?
I'd
schedule
like
it?
to. Can we pick a date? Could we do a morning sometime, or you guys, does that ever work for you guys?
As long as I have time to plan, sure.
What about you?
First thing in the
yeah, I
morning.
can make it work.
Yeah, first thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, what does that mean to you, friend?
8.
8, okay.
7.
Good, as long as it
You know,
wasn't
maybe the
5.
house 6:30.
Okay, Jim?
Are you going to invite property owners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a public
When
meeting.
we did the big landlord-tenant thing, we had landlords come in, and you need to consider that when you set the time, I think.
Well, that's a good point.
So you're thinking evening
Well,
is better?
Oh, I don't know, you got to talk about commercial businesses.
Yeah. Well, we have already had one of these sessions some time ago, but
Are you looking at more in downtown or just downtown?
I'm more interested in downtown. I think Leonard's interested in all commercial buildings.
It's a definitional issue, it's hard to,
Yeah.
it's easier to define
Well-
a zoning district than it is to
You do
define
all
what
commercial
commercial building.
zones, though.
Yeah,
You do that.
you could, because that's kind of the strip area along the highways.
That'll get your highway commercial and
Mhm.
your downtown and your C1s that are scattered
Yeah.
throughout. That'll get your commercial zoned properties if you did all commercial zones.
What's your pleasure, gentlemen?
I don't think we'll find a good time for everyone, so
No,
I think
never.
8 o'clock would be fine, or did you say 8:30?
8.
8.
Okay.
8 is fine.
Okay,
Uh,
next week, could we do it?
Um,
Maybe the 1st or 2nd? First would be
the
Tuesday?
Second, I'll be out of town that night. I could do it,
What about the 1st? Tuesday, the 1st?
I'd work on it.
Jim?
Yeah, that's
is that
fine.
okay with that? Leonard?
Yeah, I can the 1st.
You can?
I can.
Okay. How about if we schedule it 8 o'clock on Tuesday, the 1st, for a work session on that? All right?
So we'll have to get that publicized so folks know.
All right.
Will you get a notice out?
Somewhat short notice.
Yeah, it is short notice.
Ask Main Street and Chamber to send out notices.
Yeah. So that's March 1st at 8 a.m.
Which would be the same day we do the City Hall Centennial.
100
It would
years.
be in the
100
afternoon.
years. Okay.
All right, thank you. We don't need a motion for that, do we? Okay. I'm going to move on then to item Q. Consider de-annexation of a 38.5 acre tract located at 730 North Peter Pan Road. We've talked about this twice before, but we didn't have anybody here to talk to us. Have we got anybody tonight?
Yeah, we got somebody.
Chuck Goad, come on down.
Well, a little bit of history on this tract. A number of years ago, the city had some concerns about the size of the remaining tract, or remaining acreage left in the West Laurel Industrial Park. So they wanted to find a way to expand that so they could take care of any industry that might come in that would need more acreage than they had available. At that time, the city didn't have any funds available to acquire land, so they approached the Independence Action Partnership about helping them by acquiring a tract of land that would at some point be added to the current West Main Industrial Park, West Laurel. So that's how we ended up with this property. The city had kind of alluded to the fact that at some point they would, when budget funds became available, they would go ahead and acquire that from us and add it to the existing industrial park. But to this date, that has not occurred. At the time we acquired it, it was just agricultural land, which it remains. But the thought at that time was to go ahead and get it annexed at that time, just so that it would be within the city proper should something happen. Of course, since that time, nothing has. The Independence Action Partnership has been burdened with the cost of holding the property. There's been minimal income received off of it, but we're content to do that because it was a good thing to do. And that's what we're all about, is doing good things for the city. However, there is an opportunity now that we may be able to generate some income to further some of our philanthropic activities to offset the cost of holding it. The problem with that, though, is that this activity is prohibited since it's annexed into the city. So we're requesting that it be de-annexed so we can allow this to occur to help us offset the cost of holding the property. And
This being the potential drilling?
yes, yes.
At the current prices, I can't imagine anybody's drilling. Is
Well,
there any likelihood of that?
When this project began, the prices were more lucrative. And I think the company that's looking to do this is projecting a pretty good return if the prices will come back up. So they want to go ahead and get it prepared and then be ready to go if the prices do get back to a price point that makes it feasible.
IAP is a not-for-profit, right?
Right.
Gentlemen, any thoughts?
Only thought I had was Chuck, if we get, somebody comes in and wants to use the property, buy the property and stuff from us, then it has the oil well or whatever's on it. How would you propose, and I'm not against this, Chuck, I'm just asking the question. Thinking futuristically, how would we then be able to address that in your estimation?
Well, that was one of the conversation topics that we had when we were first approached about this. In fact, we rebuffed the proposal several times because of that very thing. But we were able to design, based on where the the zones are on the land, we were able to lay it out to where the proposed drilling site would be in the middle, on the far south side, right in the middle. So it's isolated, so the majority of the track would still be available. We were also provided with lots of pictures from around the country of drill wells in the middle of parks and next to Starbucks coffees, and it's, you know, to try to say that they are compatible as long as they're well maintained and taken care of.
So there has been some thought put into how that would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of thought has been put into how to design it so it would not prohibit us from proceeding if some opportunity presented itself.
It is included in that West Laurel industrial plat when this area was replatted. Just letting you know that. I believe the Drain Systems did that for us. And it was platted as lot 14 and 15.
Okay.
And I don't know what the regulations are regarding development adjacent to an oil well. Is there any regulation that would prohibit development on the surrounding property with the oil well located where you're proposing?
To our knowledge, there are not.
And
And you can see around the county and around the country a lot of development all around oil wells.
where are you proposing to put the tank battery?
Adjacent, right next to the well site. The original proposal was put it right on Peter Pan Road because that was convenient for the company, but we told them that that was not compatible with our projected use of the property, and we didn't think it would look good. So we required, and it's required in our lease, that it be located back in the middle property.
What about, is this going to be gas or oil or both?
It's projected to be oil, but it could be both.
Is there a minimum distance of development or structures between the tank battery then?
All the existing regulations for oil and gas wells will be met by the developer.
Yeah, but would it restrict development of the property south of this with a tank battery located on the property line?
No.
Anything else? Gentlemen, ready to move forward on this, or?
Right.
All right, Leonard?
Yeah, my only hesitation is the location of the battery that would restrict development on surrounding property. And if that is not an issue, then, I see it as your property, your request that we can honor. But if the location of the well or the battery affect adjacent property, that would be my hesitation. So as long as your action won't hurt any other development, I would not be opposed to de-annexing the property.
You want to try to put that in a motion?
I could sure give it a shot.
Would you? I'd enjoy that.
Okay.
I don't think you can have conditional de-annexation.
Do what?
You're gonna make a motion to have conditional de-annexation? Is that what you're talking about?
Essentially,
Well, they could say based on,
they're agreeing to not do anything that will hurt development possibilities around the property.
It's covered by regulations, by KCC, isn't it?
Because de-annexation is an ordinance, and once you de-annex it, you don't have control over it. I'm trying to figure out how you can do that.
The other way would be to authorize council to review the standards or the planning and zoning for the location adjacent to this type of development and come back and we'd vote to de-annex it at the next meeting. I mean, this is the third time we've had it on the agenda.
I think actually, if you're concerned about the tank battery, That would be tanks that catch salt water and oil, and that would be probably comparable to a gas station with gas pumps. Same thing.
Yeah. But what is
The
the
industry-
distance?
The industry is heavily regulated, and they're
I
going to
know.
comply with all existing rules and regulations, so.
Setback requirements from property lines for that, it's well over 100 feet. I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, they took into consideration all the existing requirements on setbacks in the design of where it was going to be located.
Okay,
There is one other option. We could calculate our basis in the property, what we paid for it, and our cost of holding over the past number of years with a reasonable rate of investment, and we would be, with great glee, sell it to the city, and you could do with it as you want.
Well, it is a private group that bought it for the consideration for the city, so they were doing us a favor when they did it. So now they want out to do something else, and that whatever they make, it'll certainly be for the benefit of our citizens. So I would think we could trust this group to not do anything that would adversely impact adjacent property owners.
Fred?
I'm good with it.
Fred?
I'd make a motion, yeah, I'd make a motion that we de-annex the 38.5-acre tract located at 730 North Peter Pan Road.
I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed? All right. Thank you, Chuck. Item R, also an annexation question, also on Peter Pan Road. 2.3-acre tract located at 584 North Peter Pan Road.
It's actually directly south of the other one.
No relation, though.
No,
It's just coincidence that it came on the agenda tonight.
yes.
Wow.
But
Okay.
this is the first time, not the third time on this.
Right. So let's just go ahead and table it now for a couple more meetings.
For at least twice, huh?
Is somebody here to
There is
dis-
a representative here.
Excellent. Who would that be? Rick Mott.
My client, JAG Investments, bought this property 2 or 3 years ago. They actually bought the property to the south of that, at 510 South Peter Pan, just as an investment property. It's got a house on it and then kind of a rental house and then a little building. Shortly thereafter, a month or two, the 584 came available and they bought it. So everything's been going along just as rental property. And now they are thinking about selling it. And when we got to talking about zoning, we found out that of this nearly 10 acres, 2.3 of it's in the county, the rest of it's in the city limits. So it's just kind of a bad deal as far as marketing the property, and they would like to get it all in the city limits and have any kind of development be controlled by the city.
Gotcha.
I'm good with it.
Leonard, you okay?
Yeah, because
All right.
it seemed like it was kind of a fluke that it was
Right next to
missed.
it.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't missed. The other two were consented for annexation, and they had different owners at the time.
Yeah.
And so that owner did not consent to annex. That other property, 510, belonged to the parishes, and that was going to be developed as a multifamily housing, and it never did, and that's why it's zoned R4.
Yeah, until my client bought the property, the second property, they were separate properties. And when he did buy it, now it makes it almost a perfect square 10 acres that we would like to have in the city limits.
Okay. Kind of a motion, please?
I make a motion that we proceed with annexation of approximately 2.3 acre tract located at 584 North Peter Pan Road.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay. Item S, consider direction regarding a request for the city to assume responsibility of the Veterans Jet display at Riverside Park. This was also tabled previously.
Yes, I did talk to the representative of the military, Pat Oakes, and we will have to carry $16,000 in insurance, which would be approximately $200 a year or less insurance. So we also have all of the responsibilities of keeping it maintained, and they take pictures and send in. And first thing we have to do is get certified. And she said for the city it will not be any difficulty in doing that.
So they've assigned the fair market value.
Yes, and so if it, if it gets blown away, then it's 16,000. I don't think it's anything that we can't do. It certainly could present some costs in the future, but I think it's been a grand display, and we've benefited by it all these years
Right.
without paying for it.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend we go ahead and
All right.
take it on.
Okay.
You guys okay with that?
No, I'm good with it. Yes.
So part of the motion would need to be to proceed with the application
Yes.
for transfer or ownership. Okay.
You got a handle on it.
What?
You got a handle on it. You
Well,
better-
okay.
You better.
I make a motion that we proceed with application to assume ownership of the Veterans Jet Display at Riverside Park and accept the responsibility of insurance and maintenance.
Second.
All right. Jen, can we hear that one back?
I have a motion and a second to proceed with the application to assume ownership of the Veterans Jet Display at Riverside Park and to accept the responsibility of insurance and maintenance.
That sound good?
That's me.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I could, Bill Willis Snyder with
Certainly.
the VFW.
Uh-huh.
You're using the word ownership. It belongs to the Air Force Museum.
Right.
It's a loan.
You don't, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a loan. I don't know if that makes a difference to your motion or
Did,
not.
did Jen say it wrong? Did she say own?
Did I say,
You did say to assume ownership, perhaps maybe to assume
Assume
stewardship?
Responsibility?
or
Stewardship.
Responsibility?
Yeah, the ownership
stewardship?
stays with the
That's a
military.
nice word.
Yeah.
Stewardship?
Yeah,
You like that one?
I like stewardship.
Is that okay with you?
I'm good.
Need a
That's-
second. All right.
I'm good with that.
All right. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 All right. Thank you much. Thank you, sir, for that correction. Okay, next, item T, authorize funding for lighting for the Heartland Veterans Memorial.
From Westar, we've gotten two different options for this. 70-watt private area light for $11.50 per month, or 150-watt directional floodlight for $17.83 per month. Would you believe the floodlight would probably provide quite a bit more lighting for this, but maybe Gary would know better than us how that would work. But
Just depends on how much light you want.
Is there already power at the jet?
Bill Willis Snyder, president of Heartland.
Haven't seen you in ages.
Yes, there's a pole and a street light right there at the corner. We'd like to have the memorial, the stones at the back of the memorial lit. The street light didn't turn out like we were hoping it would.
Will this directional flood go on the same pole, or will they add another?
We think so.
Okay. And we don't cover the installation cost, right? We just pay the,
no, we have to pay the monthly,
yeah,
but it goes, it's monthly
Right.
perpetual.
Forever.
so-
understood.
Well, are there lights on the plane itself that are,
The running lights or the
Right.
marker lights are supposed to be set up to where they're on a timer. They aren't currently working now. Heartland has
Oh, sure,
talked
now you
about-
tell us after we assume responsibility for it. Yeah.
Heartland has discussed having an electrician look at them and paying for that out of Heartland funds.
Well-
I've been up on one of them and it was corroded and I cleaned that and have found some LED bulbs. The older automotive type bulbs burned out quite a bit. The three guys that are familiar with the plane and have worked the plane through the VFW, one of them's moved away, one of them's died, and one of them's seriously ill, probably going to be incapacitated. So as part of Heartland, and then of course a member of the VFW too, why this is I kind of volunteered for this, I guess. So some of the information is a little sketchy that I have for you, but the Heartland group would like to have the lights on the airplane working, and the wing tips and top of the tail and I think one in the nose someplace. But the wiring and electricity is all to the base of the airplane and up to the airplane. There's a Westar pole at the corner with the street light on it that we think the floodlight would go on, or private area light, you know, definitions, what's a private area light, and what's a floodlight?
Kelly, did you talk to Westar?
Well, we had a lot of email
Yeah.
exchanges, and these were the final options that we received. So it's just kind of what the commission would want.
I'd recommend you approve
there's-
either one, and
Yeah.
then we'll work with
Staff.
Westar and the group to
If
see
there's
what they need.
power already at the plane,
And if they're gonna show the lights,
yeah,
if the
and
lights are,
if there's already power there, and it's kind of, well, do we need another pole? Would it be worth looking at setting up lights, you know, a floodlight that would be directional or lower, or other options than just going to a pole-mounted
you're talking about that
floodlight?
away from it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would, also, you know, it depends on the cost, but it adds some footlighting maybe to the path up to the memorial. You know, if we've already got electricity there, we've got more than one option, and you look at the cost per month, we might be able to do something a little nicer, maybe. I don't know. It just options that, since we do have power there, we're not totally restricted to Westar.
Right.
And some nice LED light.
But why don't you let us get with them and Westar
Yeah.
and come up with a plan and bring it back rather than,
Yeah, I don't want to
That
beat
way
this to
we'll have
death.
is that all right with you, Bill?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
think it'd be great. All right.
We'll get lights, just a
Yeah,
minute away.
there you go. Okay, so we're going to
Thank you.
table that one. Thanks again. All right. Item U, consider authorizing stop signs at 12th and Riley, plus 20 mile an hour, and no parking signs on the west side of 12th from Oak to Pecan. So this is, again, coming back for a repeat visit. Got some new information for us?
Oh, we got a little bit, Mayor.
Thank you.
We, as instructed the last time as we talked to the commission, Mark Vining, myself, Mickey, and set up at Oak and 12th and diverted traffic and watched the traffic. And we've been watching the traffic. Our observation of that traffic, it is, they don't, 3:15 when they get out, you would think there'd be a mob of them come out, but they're really very orderly coming out. You may get 1, 2, 3 at a time, maybe a pause. We didn't see really any traffic backing up on Oak Street. We did notice watching down at the intersection to the east at 10th and Oak that the typical backup of traffic. With us blocking 12th, the cars, of course, only had 2 ways to go. It was probably 50-50. Some went to the west, some went to the east. The kids, however, did have warning that we were doing it that day, so they were somewhat prepared. In discussing this with Detective Vining, Mickey, and myself, we're sticking with our original recommendation of no parking on the west side of the street, decreasing the speed limit to 20 miles per hour, adding the additional stop signs, and increasing enforcement. Mark felt he could do some things with his resource officer after school, both with tickets if needed, but also with education in the school, with the kids about the dangers of racing in neighborhoods, kids out playing, etc. So Mark felt he could have a positive impact that way. We just all felt that the one way was more impeding, would be, as Mark said, you know, they're not going to pay attention to it anyway. So that was basically where we're at. And I also believe there's an officer here that wants to speak that just arrived, that lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah, Phil Lovelace. Phil, I've got your name as wanting to speak on this one.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. The only thing I had to say was about the one-way street. I went down when school was letting out, and, I mean, the minute they see you, they start calling, the kids start calling, and people start diverting. I've sat down there several times watching. I've been off duty, and people run the stop sign both ways with my patrol car sitting at that intersection. The only problem I had with one-way street is when I pull my trailers out, I can't go to the south. I mean, I can't go to the north because of telephone poles. I have to go to the south. Other than that, it doesn't make me a difference. So I think the presence and saturation will probably solve the problem.
All right.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. Any
Thank you.
questions? Appreciate it.
I had an email from one of the citizens that owns property on the street, and they were not in favor of creating a one-way street there.
They were not in favor.
Right, they
Uh-huh.
weren't in favor. Again, citations seem to be more the direction that, it is a problem caused by a few, and converting it to a one-way street penalizes the residents living along the street. The stop signs, and, the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, if they're not obeying the stop signs now, they're not going to obey the 20, but a citation does get a little more attention, and
Our only thing on the 20, Leonard, was just Mr. Demo and his kids. We do have a lot of little kids in the neighborhood, so. Also, it's a little more of a hurt. Christina probably could tell you that, a 20-mile zone versus a 30 getting a ticket, it's going to cost them a little bit more if they are racing down that street.
yeah, it
So
does.
those were it was kind of a deterrent I think Mark was looking at.
When my son lived in Colorado, we would regularly get mail from the state of Colorado, which would be a ticket for him, where they take it from a camera somehow.
So we need a camera,
Yeah, they have
set
a
up
photo of
camera.
his face
Yeah.
and then the back of the car. Could we do something like that?
Sure. I think it's what, the $100,000 it takes to set the system up, but
$100,000,
we
okay.
might make it back.
We'll take it out of the commissioner's salary.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I'm okay with the recommendation.
Go with the staff recommendation.
I think staff made a good recommendation, and we can try it, and if it.
Yeah,
if
I
there
mean, we're
continues to
definitely
be
open.
some issues with it, then.
If there's still a problem, to
I'm
come back
happy
to you
to look at
guys
it again.
and see what else
Yeah.
we can do.
Okay. Shall we make a
Yeah.
motion for that? All right. Anybody want to go on this one?
Go ahead.
I'd make a motion that we approve staff recommendation for, help me out with that, stop signs.
We're gonna-
And 20-mile-an-hour speed limit,
And no parking on the west
and no
side.
parking on the west side.
Yes.
Of 12, from Oak to Pecan.
From Oak to, is it Pecan?
Yeah, Oak to Pecan.
Pecan.
I'll second that.
Jen, you got that?
Jen, could we hear that back? Just to
I have a
make sure.
motion and a second to approve the staff recommendation of stop signs at 12th and Riley and a 20-mile-per-hour and no parking signs on the west side of 12th from Oak to Pecan.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Dave. All right, V, consider authorizing installation of a disc golf course on the west side of South 10th Street.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
It has, and I think it's been about a year that you guys have given us. I wanted to give an update. We are ready to provide this half of the course, these 9 holes on the west side of 10th Street. We wanted to come before you and get the final approval before we broke ground and placed baskets there, and the continuing forth of that.
Are they embedded in concrete? Or
Yeah.
How hard are they to move if you decide to move them around later, if we were to do something else there?
It wouldn't be difficult to move the basket because it's in a sleeve in the concrete, and we can just
All right.
unlock and bolt it. From there, you would still have the concrete in a metal sleeve in the ground.
Okay. Just wondering.
We're
16 inches deep, the size of the post hole.
right. It's not going to be.
Pull it out if you needed to.
Gotcha. Thank you.
We would also have the concrete T-pads that would be left, and they're going to be about 5 by 10 feet at each of the locations of the red squares, red dots there.
A 5-foot by 10-foot
Slab
T-box?
of concrete, yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah,
So this is for 9 holes?
Yes, this is only
And
the,
So then across the street, you would, if you get funds, you'll.
right. We
Do
would like
the other
to,
9 holes on the other, because I was in Emporia not long ago, And I remembered that I think it was you had told us, they got a pretty nice little course there, don't
They have 4 courses
Yeah.
in Import,
So-
5. And they just installed one on their country club golf course that is a permanent one that they closed down the golf course and opened it to the disc golfers
Yeah.
as well.
Jeff, will we need to have an agreement with their organization to use this, or is this just able to, with commission action?
You could do either way. If you want to define some things, I guess you do an agreement or.
Probably be better to have agreement.
What's your recommendation for any legal exposure to the city? Do we need some form of written agreement to set limits or anything? Or to state liability?
Well, it's kind of like a park. I mean, it's a recreational facility, so under the Kansas Torts Claims Act, you'd have some immunity there, since it's recreational. Doesn't stop somebody from suing you, but.
Right, but it's just, we own the land, the city already owns the land, we're gonna continue to own the land, we're just gonna have an opportunity to play disc golf on it.
Right.
Do they become part of the city property then, so that they're included in that statute?
The land is owned by the city, so by virtue of that, any activity on the land would be considered on, city property, subject to the Torts Claim Act.
Yeah, but with their equipment, then we're still clear of any liability.
Yes, but it doesn't stop somebody from suing.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a note from our minutes from the March meeting when we approved this, March 10th.
Right.
About $8,640 for materials. Is that, is that the money that you've raised that you're ready to go with, or have you figured out another plan?
We've raised a little over half than that, so at this point, I know you had talked about a year from that date, and so I wanted to come at this point and say, we're ready to do phase 1 of doing this 9 holes
Okay.
on the west side of the street.
So the 40, 200, 300, whatever the number
Right.
is, just 4 9 holes,
Correct.
and you'll work on the other.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll move that we authorize installation of a disc golf course on the west side of South 10th Street.
I'd second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right.
Thank
very
you.
much. Good luck.
It'll be exciting.
You're going to be my neighbor. I'm going to be watching.
Go play, you have to go play, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm coordinated enough for that. Okay, item W, consider update regarding demolition of certain portions of previously donated property. 800 West Myrtle, 900 West. Who's
We've got a
reporting here?
report from Sean Clapp. on
Sean?
this.
Hey, Sean.
Hello.
What's the latest?
Latest is demolition is proceeding right now. Next week, they're intending to start the demolition process of the old Plaza West Physicians Clinic, or what they used to call the West MOB.
Will their tenants be out?
Well, come Tuesday, they won't have gas or electric, so they really won't have a choice but to leave the facility at that point in time. And they're planning on actually demoing the building on Thursday and Friday, basically having it down to the slab by the weekend on that, barring any, rain or anything like that happening. So,
Okay.
but the rest of the building on B and C is proceeding at this point in time. They have some temporary power within B and C for emergency access through stair towers and whatnot, but all of the other power throughout the building is shut down, and they have relocated the mechanical lines for the MRI suite already, and that's up and running. So that's proceeding perfectly fine. Tomorrow we're going to do the temporary power for the MRI magnet and cooling system. 9:30 in the morning, we're going to start that process, and should have that done in about an hour. And then they will work on providing the permanent power feed once they get the temporary ones done, so they can proceed with demolition within B and C from there. And on the 29th, the AT&T cuts service to the telecommunications room and basement of C building, and the city will have their temporary feed line put in there for fire alarm and security system. That'll get put in that same day as well. So the city will have fire alarm system active at that point in time. So once the old phone line's taken out, then we can proceed on taking down B and C building. So if you've driven by, you've seen most of the exterior glass and fenestration of the curtain wall is being taken out at this point in time. They did discover some additional asbestos material within the building, and the abatement contractors come back, done additional testing, and we're removing whatever we find within the facility. So they're going to be doing some additional removal this weekend, and hopefully we'll have everything picked up. If not, they've been really good about getting back out very quickly and taking care of what's been found. So
Great.
I did have a conversation with Greg Hennon right before the meeting, just to make sure that they didn't have any interest in that building, and he assured me that his interest would be confined to the hospital building itself and the operating rooms, all he anticipates.
Okay. So everything's going on schedule?
yeah,
Good.
yeah, no major hiccups or anything like that
That's
at this
nice
point
to
in
hear.
time. So.
Gentlemen, any questions for Sean? No. All right.
No.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. X. X marks the spot. Okay, previously condemned structures. X1 is 208 West Walnut. Jim, welcome back.
Thank you. Okay, the work is proceeding nicely on this place. They're on the interior side, excuse me, removing all the lath and plaster and getting it ready for electrical work. So at this time, the recommendation to the City Commission is to allow the property owners to continue work and review in 90 days.
Great. Looks like a totally different house on the outside.
It does.
Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
90 days to look at that
Yeah.
again? All right.
I'm good with that.
Item 2, 220 North Penn.
Do we need to make a motion?
I don't think so.
I mean, you can direct it to come back in 90 days. It doesn't
Yeah.
need a
Okay.
motion.
90 days. Okay. Item 2, 220 North Penn.
And then on this building here, quite a bit of it's taken place. They're now working on the structural elements. So the recommendation.
I do have a conflict of interest on
Okay.
this project, so
No worries.
good
Go
with
ahead.
me staying here.
I'd stay. I don't think we're going to discuss it long. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, and so the recommendation to the City Commission is to allow work to proceed until finished.
Yeah. You
I'm
okay
good
with that,
with
Fred?
that. I'm good with
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it as I drove over here at 5:30.
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks really good.
Yeah. All right. 300 South 14th.
Okay, and I spoke with Jason, if you remember, at the large commission meeting we had, that he was going to spearhead this project, and what he has, he's done a great job. So there again, the recommendation to the City Commission is to do a review in 90 days. He's also, on the 1st of March, going to provide me with a new timeline.
Okay. I'm okay with that. You say he's done a great job. It doesn't look that much different to me, but
Yeah.
I'll assume he's making progress.
From the,
Yeah, he has removed, I think it was 3 trailer loads of
Wow.
shrubs, trees, that kind of thing, and that was part of his timeline.
Okay, great.
so that would take a while.
Yeah, certainly the lot is clear, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay, you guys all right with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. 308 North 5th.
I
I'm
met-
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I met with the property owner, I believe it was last Wednesday. At this point in time, recommendation to the City Commission would be to allow city staff to set the date for removal. I believe it was back in November. He was given 30 days to remove his personal belongings. At this point in time, that has not happened.
I don't understand. This was condemned in 2006.
2006,
Did it
yes.
slip through the cracks somehow? Or?
No, I've done reviews on this.
So we've never uncondemned it?
No, we have not.
Okay, all right. Is the owner present?
Yes, he is.
Would the owner like to say anything, sir? Welcome.
Thank you. Richard Dozer, owner of that place. I've told Jim that I've rented a trailer and we're getting all the stuff that will be out by this weekend. And then it'll be ready for them to knock it down, whatever they do.
Okay.
And,
I appreciate your help with
yeah.
that.
So you're okay with?
Yeah,
demolition?
last meeting I was at, I said, you know, we was gonna get stuff out and go ahead and we're done with it. The foundation's not worth doing anything on.
Okay, great. Thanks for coming tonight. Sorry you had
Thank
to
you.
sit through all that. All right,
I believe we
So
do need
do
a
we need
motion
a
to
motion?
authorize
We need
staff.
to make,
right. Okay,
so,
I make a motion that we authorize staff to set a date for removal of 308 North Fifth.
second.
all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Next, number 5 is 309 Cypress.
Okay. I know I've received numerous timelines from the property owner. However, the timelines have not been met. So at this time, recommendation to the city commission is to allow city staff to set the date for removal. And the property owner is present.
Gene, would you like to
Yeah, absolutely.
step up to the microphone?
Yeah, I guess we never talked about why do we want to go ahead and take that down now? Just because it's, what I've always wanted was, well, wow, we've done a lot of work to it. We've done a lot of work to the outside of it. We've needed more time. We always need more time. We get 3 months at a time.
Gene, when did you take ownership of this one?
We took ownership of this in, I think about mid-May, late May, and the first meeting we had on this was late June.
So you haven't owned it a year yet?
No, sir, we
Okay.
haven't.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Basically, we've done a lot of work. If you saw those first 2 pictures of the front, there, that's what it used to look like, and that's what it looks like now. And that's the street view. You know, that's the side view. It's a particular part of the side view. I don't know. We've done a lot of work. I want to keep doing some work on it. We've got a lot of money now into it, more so than we had before. You know.
Mainly, you've done exterior work, right?
That's right. And actually, that last one where it showed the picture, the window out, I did that 10 seconds before Jim came and took that picture. So that's just a bad window in a closet that I had just removed to stud it up, and it's on the south side. I guess my point is from the street view, it looks a heck of a lot better. It looks pretty good. That's the interior, and that's what I was told to do last, and we haven't done anything in the interior. The last 3 months we had, it was winter. I just underestimated. We'd like more time to continue to finish it, at least finish the interior.
How many timelines have you provided for this?
Well, the first timeline I wanted and was told I'd have was 9 to 12 months. I haven't had that one. The timelines I provided have been, bulldozers around the corner, it's coming, and y'all gave me a 1 month time. You wanted to see what I would do in a month, and that's when we came up here, and I filled a 30-ton, whatever those, not ton, but
cubic yard.
Yeah, cubic yard, the largest kind of container. We filled that all. This is me fixing the house. This isn't my damage. I didn't do this damage. I'm here trying to fix the damage and restore this property. And then 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. That's where we are now. The last 3 months covered. I mean, it was winter. We were trying to finish up paint. We took on other projects, downtown projects, restoring town, another property y'all had up for condemnation there on North 8th, the downtown building. And anyway, so.
You know that I voted against you on this the
I do.
first time.
Yes, sir.
Because the neighbors were unhappy. Apparently,
Yeah.
the house has a history. And
It does, and and the sad thing is that house has been allowed to be like that for decades.
Understand. That's often the case. We move to condemn a house and somebody has just purchased it, and unfortunately.
Yeah, and just to backtrack on that, what happened was before I even bought it, I came and talked to Jim. I had Jim come out to the building. He's met my son and I. We talked through the process. Part of the frustrating part for me is I thought I was talking to the person with the authority that was telling me I've got 9 to 12 months, and then we're here at a meeting to discuss with you guys. Not something I discussed. Not to pick on Jim. Jim's working his tail off out there. Got no problem with that. What the issue I have is when I talk to someone of authority, I believe I talked to someone with authority, and I'm told 9, 12 months, no big deal. Now he was discouraging the condition, of course, but I believed I had 9 to 12 months, and then I got anyway, this showed up for that first meeting and it was real discouraging, of course.
Sure.
So
People
never would have taken
always
this
say that
one
about
on.
city commissioners. They're always discouraging.
That was
So-
fine. I wasn't ready for the hostility of the negative viewpoints of the adjacent neighbors.
Right. So let's say that, I have no idea what these gentlemen are thinking, but if we decide to let you move forward, how long do you think it would take to have it ready to pass inspection so somebody could move in?
Because it has to, technically it's still blight because it didn't pass the HQS
Right.
inspection. All right.
6 months?
So
3 months?
6 months is what I would like.
So this is
Because-
February,
Yes.
March, April, May, June, July, August.
That sounds
So-
absolutely.
So if
If
you
we-
took it in May to go,
it would be.
it'd
now,
be over a year.
It would be, and the reason I'm asking that is because we have made improvements, and we're going to continue to make improvements. Each of those windows that you see right there, the easy way would have been to just toss them out and throw them in a landfill. I went and spent way too much time restoring those windows. It's the original glass. You look through, it's all wavy. I know you guys have a lot of it here, but it's still historical fabric, and it's,
So if I made a motion that we remove your house August 15th unless it's passed inspection,
so let's do it.
you'd be okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Then I don't have to see this before, saying
Don't.
on August 15th, we're going to remove it unless it's passed inspection.
That sounds good.
That gives you a deadline.
It does.
I don't know if we've ever done that, or if
That-
you guys would be in
that-
favor of that. but-
Can we do that, Jeff?
Yeah.
We can do that?
Yes.
I'm okay, because this has got to go.
Yeah.
And we got to get this finished, because that's basically when we made the approval, we made the approval that it was going to look good for the neighbors.
Yes.
And it doesn't look good, and we're 9 months.
It does
however
look
long.
tons better, but
I agree.
it's still.
I agree.
Leonard, what do you think
Appreciate
about that?
As long as it's going forward, I'm in favor of keeping it, because one thing that it is, you look at the difference in tax value of an empty lot
Right.
and a house, and we can't keep losing our tax base and do the things we're doing. And I'm for giving an extension. I want to see it completed.
I do too.
I think that's the only benefit that the city has, is somebody that is willing to come in and invest their time and money and turn these houses around. There's no way that a true low-income or moderate-income person can ever afford a new house. And these are the ones that are going to be on the market to provide that housing. And we need them restored. So, I'm foreseeing an extension to get it done.
Thank you, Leonard.
So I'm going to make a motion that we direct city staff to remove the house, take steps to remove the house on the first meeting in August unless it has passed inspection.
Second.
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay.
I'm an aye for
Okay.
extending.
Well, that's sort of extending, but still giving him a deadline. But he said he could do it in 6 months. All right, August 15th, or approximately there. All right, 400 West Maple, Jim.
Okay, I spoke with the property owner, I believe it was last Wednesday. I directed him to attend tonight's meeting, so I think he would like to address the commission before a recommendation is made.
Okay, great. We'd love to hear from him. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Mohammed Samir. I'm from Oklahoma. I bought two properties, this property and the one next to it last year. And I start working on the next one. Already I spent around like $70,000 to $80,000. I bought everything is brand new. After I finish on the next one, I cannot take a decision about this property. But I need some time, like a gap.
Wait, I'm sorry, the house just west of this one you also bought?
Like both of them, I bought it, the one next to it.
Yeah,
And
next door to the west?
Yeah.
Okay.
408 West Maple Street.
Okay, yeah, I saw that one got a lot of renovation work.
Yeah, but I got a little bit, I'm so busy and I cannot finish it. I'm coming back next month. to
And you
finish
bought
it.
this one when?
Almost like, I think 10 months. On the same time, almost a year.
Okay.
And
All
there
right.
was a people living on it, on this house, and I took like 2 or 3 dumpsters. I cleaned it inside, but it's really good, like a condition and stud and stuff like this. There is no termite, nothing wrong with the house. But there was property like for rent, and there's a people renting there. Like a year ago, there's a people was living there, and they have electric and everything is fine.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's what, 4,000 square feet or something?
Around 4,000 square feet.
Wow. So, Jim, refresh me on past history on this one again?
How long has this been on the condemnation list?
It was condemned in 2011.
So, previous owner?
Yeah. who-
Charlie Ferris was the previous owner.
Okay.
The people that were living in it, were they buying it from
That I
the
don't know. I didn't
Ferrises?
realize people were actually living in it.
Yeah.
There was renting it.
Yeah, I've seen people there, living
Yeah.
there. I drive past it every day.
They've only been out about a year, maybe a year and a half.
Okay.
So does this house pass, have you had a chance to do the HQS inspection on it?
Well, yeah, on the initial condemnation inspection, yes. That's, with the staircase, that's what it looked like to begin with. That would have been back in 2011. But at this point, you know, in order for electrical service to be restored, that 3-bank meter will have to be upgraded. Westar just will not hook onto it.
Okay.
But they had power when they were living there.
Yeah, and how they got that, I have no idea. I know Charlie Ferris at that time had power to it as well.
Yeah.
So they may have just switched accounts on it.
So, are you willing, what was your first name, Mohammed?
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to work with Mr. Ingman on a time schedule to begin and start working, particularly addressing issues that Jim would feel are priority on the property?
Okay, that's fine. Yes, sir.
So we just want to see your schedule. We want you to agree to a schedule with Jim, so we'll see some improvements to the building. Fair enough?
Like, I mean, around between 9 and to 12 months till I start work on it.
Before you start work on it?
Yeah, because I want to finish the first one, and I'm thinking about to tear it down sometime and build a new property on it, but I don't decide yet exactly what I need to do. I need to fix it, or I need to tear it down and build something new.
Can we just let him get with Jim and work out a schedule, then come back to the commission?
Yeah, I think so. Is that okay with you, Fred? Thank you. All right. Thank you, sir. All right, next is 914 North 6th.
All right, and here again, I met with the property owner, and, well, let me rephrase that, the property owner's brother. The property owner had a misfortune and shattered his leg, so. But anyhow, quite a bit of work has taken place on this property. All the fire damage, that's where a majority of the fire damage was at, was in the kitchen. So that's all been rewired, re-sheetrocked. And on the back porch, the roof that burnt through has been replaced as well. So, you know, I've seen a lot of progress on this. Recommendation to the city commission is to do a review in 90 days and monitor progress.
Yeah, looks like they made great progress.
Yeah.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah. I'm good
Wonderful.
with that.
Thank you, Jim. Let's do that. 2012 North 10th.
This one's kind of hard. I spoke with Mark Bloomer. He is head of this division for Westar, and he informed me that because the electrical is current, that due to legal reasons, they are not allowed to disconnect it. However,
So we already voted to remove this one.
we have,
Right, and now we can't remove it because it's
Yeah.
right,
electrical system's hot. Okay.
yes,
Plus, there's been some people working in there.
very little
since,
work.
Like,
Very,
like last Sunday, because I just happened to
Right.
drive by there and saw, I think there was one or two guys, at least one guy in there.
yeah, they've got, I mean, he's bought kitchen cabinets and that kind of thing, but they're not set, and the progress is just very, very slow.
I guess they're so close. I think they'd want to get tenants in there. All right, so there's nothing really we can do at this point, is what you're telling us.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Leonard?
So if it has current electricity, I mean, that's a part of the HQS inspection, I mean,
It is part, yes.
but the rest of the house doesn't pass it,
No, no, sir.
so it doesn't pass at all.
No,
Just
sir.
because it hasn't been completed, kitchen cabinets and carpet and that, you know, it's been rewired.
Yes,
They're
rewired
replumbed.
and replumbed.
Yeah, it's really
So-
close.
And I actually went to the house today. The property owner called me yesterday and would like to restore his water service, so I inspected the stub outs for the water and told the gentleman that I met that they need to hire a plumber, and the water lines need to be pressurized with air prior to water being restored. And that's just normal procedure in the building codes.
Right. So we are seeing something going on there, even though we voted to remove it already.
Correct.
All right.
That's an interesting deal, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that? All right, thank you, Jim. So the last one is 3159 West Main.
Okay, I went and visited with the property owners, I believe it was last Tuesday, and they were instructed by the commission to have that particular building removed. However, financially, they are not able to do so, so I explained the removal process to them, and basically what we're recommending to the city commission is to allow city staff to set the date to remove. I told the property owner that they would not be out any immediate money. However, the cost to remove would be assessed back onto the taxes.
Okay.
So,
I'm good with removing it.
yeah, sounds like everybody's good
Is
with
the
removing
owner
this one.
here?
I'd make
Is
a
the owner
motion-
here, Jim?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, then I make a motion that we proceed with demolition of 3159 West Main.
I'll second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Jim. Is that it?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, thank you, sir.
May I ask a question while on 308 North Fifth? He explained to me the same thing about having the price of removal assessed by taxes.
Right.
And I just want to make sure that that's in the bid or whatever you got to do.
I'm not sure I understand the question, but if we demolish your property, you will be assessed that on your tax bill.
Yeah, first you'll receive a bill, and you have 30 days to make payment if I'm correct. And then if you fail, then we'll, what is it, by ordinance or resolution?
Ordinance. We pass an ordinance.
We put that on your property tax bill.
Thank you, sir. All right, next, we had said we were going to insert a proclamation here.
Yes, I discovered very recently that on Tuesday, City Hall will have been opened for 100 years, so I thought that we should note that. So we thought that it would be nice to maybe have some cake and punch at City Hall from 4 to 6 that day and offer anybody that wants to come tours and looking at some of the articles from the 1916 paper Reporter, I found out that when it was open, they had 1,500 to 2,000 people go through City Hall. I'm not quite sure how they fit them in there, but
What was our population then, I wonder?
I don't know. It said it was led, March was led by the Boy Scouts through the building of 1,500 to 2,000 people. I would like to have seen that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I thought it might be something to note, so thought a proclamation might be in order, and I apologize for the late notice.
Total project costs were $33,395.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wow, worth every penny.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you imagine that?
Would you like us to vote on this to make it official, or?
Yes, please.
All right. I move that we issue a proclamation proclaiming March 1st, 2016 as City Hall Centennial Day.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, thank you. That's great, that's exciting.
That is good.
Got some great history. Okay, next on the agenda is item Y, report on grants applied. Who's covering this one, Mickey?
Jen?
Yeah, I'll just cover this one. I think you were emailed the information that I have. The first grant is from the Kansas Revolving Assistance Fund, and it is a grant that would provide training equipment for our fire and EMS staff. It is my understanding that they're discussing the grants this week, and hopefully we'll know in a week or two if we have received this grant. The total grant is for $9,907.20, and the city would have to provide a 10% match, which will come out of the fire and EMS budget. The second grant is a pre-hospital trauma life support class, and that grant will be in the amount of $1,500. This does not require a city match, and I believe they have already met last week, and that maybe next week we will be finding out if we've received this grant. So hopefully we should know soon on both of them.
Wonderful.
We also have made contact with both senators and our Congress lady on the fire truck application, and they've all three said they would help us because of our need to get that. Also heard from a lady that works for the KDHE in the financing department, and they are working on a process, the IGT, intergovernmental transfer, to provide some reimbursement on Medicaid for all of the ambulance services in the state. They said it would take an RFP process of anywhere from 6 months to a year. They're going to try to fast track it, but they are working on that process. Hopefully there'll be something to come from it.
Is there an estimate on what that reimbursement would be?
Well, there's three different ways that it can be done, and we haven't really explored this way as much as one of the other ways, but we're hoping it would be significant, anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 annually once we get going.
Annually?
Yeah.
Like the sound of that. Anything else, staff?
Did you want to report
yeah.
on those bonds?
Yes, on I was asked about the bonds, and we haven't got the details, but we talked to the bond attorneys. And as far as projects, if we have leftover funds remaining, then those, without any other action of the board, that can be used for other projects that were identified, the similar projects. If the commission didn't want to do one of those projects, even though it hasn't been done, if you wanted to substitute a different project, there is a process. They call the name of what it is, but the bond attorneys would have to do it, and it can be substituted. It's totally up to the commission, and we're going to get to nail down the numbers and get back with the commission so that you can have that opportunity to look at it.
No, you said the projects identified, that's the projects identified in the bond?
Yes, you can, without doing any other action, you use the money for those. If you wanted to make substitutions, there's a process to go about to change it if you would like.
Because we had the projects that were listed in that bond were all completed, so there's no.
Well, in that case, then you can
So then we would
you
do
can
the
do that process.
substitution.
Yes, you can do that. Whatever project you want to do with them.
And we're looking to bring back some local street projects to consider also. The mill and overlay, since the prices are down.
Well, we've got the geometric also at Peter Pan that that
Mhm.
extra 300,000 could go to offset that. Or the grant we're applying for the additional Main Street project, they're matching
Yeah,
money
in front of
there.
Walgreens.
So, it'd be good if we can cut down the money that we're going to have to do for projects we're already planning and to pick up some additional.
Absolutely.
So the substitution
It's worth the,
could
I was
be,
working with a school district that sold some bonds the other day, and bond rates are at a historic low. I think we ought to investigate see if it's a feasibility of financing some of those bonds. I
Yeah.
think we could save a significant amount of money.
I think there
And
is
I-
that opportunity.
And I don't think we better wait, because I think they may go up here again pretty soon. So I think this is like a gift horse. I mean, it's, who would ever thought bond prices would be this low?
Yeah, we'll check on that and try to get back at the next meeting.
Okay.
That sounds great. Item Z, report on our hometown showdown.
The first round has started. We did make it into the contest. We were against Mound Ridge on the first round, and this is the link to go to vote for the Independence picture. And
How are we doing so far?
last time I checked, pause for technical difficulties. We currently have 341 likes. And Mound Ridge, which is we are against, is right there, and they have 146. So we're in a very comfortable lead currently, but it ends the 29th, and this is the first round.
And so if you go back to the bracket, then who are we up next?
Well, depends on who wins
We get
the next round.
Let's just assume we're going to win the first
Well,
round.
That's the
we're gonna
coaching,
win,
right?
so this year we're gonna go all the way. And with all the people that helped us last year with Facebook and the voting,
It looks like there's between Fort Scott and Fredonia, so
Yeah.
whoever wins that round, it would be one of those two.
so what we do is we vote for the one that we think we can
beat.
I didn't.
I
Did
just
did I
want
say
to
that?
remind you guys,
Did I say that?
You're on TV.
these meetings are on the internet, and these cities can be watching your meetings. I just want to let you know. If you have any
They'd be asleep by
secrets,
now.
you might want to share that after the meeting.
I didn't say that.
no.
You guys do want to take a minute and look at the website? Or are you exhausted?
No, I'm good with looking at the website.
We have a couple of
Yeah.
executive sessions.
Yeah,
Yes, right.
Well, it won't take long to.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
thrilled that it's up today.
The new website launched today. IndependenceCast.gov is the same. It's the same address we had before, but this is a new look for our website. It's the one that you guys agreed to do with Civic Plus out of Manhattan. They do a lot of municipal websites. And one thing that I think people might, I mean, there's a lot of different, it's updated, but the agenda and minutes module, I thought people would probably maybe appreciate if they kind of are into this stuff like me, but maybe they're not.
Or if you have trouble getting to sleep at night.
Yeah. For those insomniacs, we have Channel 12 running commission meetings 24/7, so, we got you covered. Save you some money on Tylenol PM, but anyway, the agendas are here, and I usually post them Monday evenings, and you can download the actual agenda file, which is a PDF here. Once we have it online, there's a little TV here, and you can click that, and it'll take you out to YouTube, and you'll watch the meeting. And then after the minutes are approved and signed and into Laserfish, then I get them from Jen, and we upload the minutes from that meeting. So you will have all of those things from each agenda that you can go back historically, because we're kind of starting from 2016 with these, but, they'll stay on there. So after a while, we'll have, several years on there, hopefully, if we don't crash the system or something. So
Anyway, that's kind of a neat feature. And there's some other things like you can reserve the facilities online for like the Memorial Hall and the Civic Center. You can request a service. You do have to register, go online and register with your email. They'll verify that is an accurate email, and then you use that username to log in, just kind of like you do on any of your utilities or anything else. So when you request a service, we're not going to get a bunch of spam and things that way. And so that works the same. And then the online bill pay works exactly like it did before. It actually goes to the same third-party system that it went to before. So that will take you to the same site, and people are already familiar with that. A lot of people take advantage of that. We do anticipate there'll probably be some bugs with this new launch because it is a new system. We have a lot of staff that has worked in a lot of different departments to do this. I mean, I didn't do this. I did some of it, but I did not do the majority of it. And, Rachel Line is one of them that's been an administrator, Corey Stanridge in the fire and EMS, Terry Lieberger, our Galaxy people. Plus, we've had several people in different departments that have done their own pages and have done a really good job of getting, their information on there and getting things updated. And, the millennials are doing a really good job on this. They're taking off with it. So
she's a celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah, Tony's on there. And like I said, they're taking some ownership in it, and it's up to them to keep their pages updated. And so it's not going to fall on just one person, and they've done a really great job. And like I said, there'll be some bugs, and let us know if you find something that isn't working, and we will fix it. So
Kelly, that on the bottom of the left side there's a Notify Me tab.
yes.
Is that Notify Me for
Which one?
the very bottom?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you can do is you can sign up for updates, and like I said, you have to have a login and stuff, so you'll have to register the first time, but you can sign up, so anytime the agendas are uploaded, it'll send you an email that there's been an update in that section, or if you want to do a Notify Me on a different section of the website, then it will send you an automatic email anytime that's been updated, so you know when there is a change. And then there'll also be some calendar things on here if you scroll down. And this would be kind of like if we have something new out and they want a news flash they want to bring to your attention, it'll be in this area. And like I said, it is kind of new, so we've got some, learning to do on it still. But you can see we've got some, events that are going on that are already listed that they've put on there. And like I said, the staff has done this. I didn't put these on
This
there.
is good.
They've all done it in their own areas.
And Kelly has put in a lot of time on this too, but yeah, we really have had a lot of people working on it. I think
It's
it's
really good.
wonderful.
And actually, Commissioner Hogsett has helped us as well.
No, I just hindered the whole process.
We helped us with some design issues.
All right.
And you
So
will be able to pay bills online now?
Yes, the same way you paid them before. That utility bill link goes directly to the same link it went to before, because that's through the Encode and our Tyler technology, so it works directly in our system. So it's not done by Civic Plus. It's basically just a hyperlink to the same place that the old site took you to. So that should not be any different. We did have an issue, I think, a week ago, but they got that resolved with
Okay.
that site.
All right. I believe we have a couple executive sessions, 2 of them. What are the 2?
Acquisition of real estate for 5 or 10 minutes, and attorney-client privilege for 5 or 10 minutes.
All righty. So we're going to do those one at a time. You said 5 to 10 minutes for acquisition of real estate? Okay, it's 7:13.
We'll take a break.
Take a quick break.
Do you want to? I need,
Okay.
it'd be good.
So we'll go into
for a minute.
executive session. We'll be back at 7:30 for acquisition of real estate.
And who's going in?
The city attorney, city manager.
An assistant manager.
And assistant city manager and commissioners. All right.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for the acquisition of real estate for, how long did you say?
Till 7:30.
Till,
Decisions be made when we come back in session.
I don't anticipate any decision to be made.
Just not everyone leaving.
All right. I
come
second.
back at 7:30, okay.
I second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, we are back in session. We're now going to go into executive session for attorney-client privilege.
5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
So,
Per 5 minutes.
7:35.
Is that a
Make
motion? Okay.
Or I second the motion you made.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All
And
right.
is it the same attendees?
All right, we are back in session. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Are we ready to adjourn? Are we ready to adjourn? All right, move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, sirs.